My first wish is to see this plague of mankind, war, banished from the earth. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am I owe to my mother. I attribute all my success in life to the moral, intellectual and physical education I received from her. True friendship is a plant of slow growth, and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity, before it is entitled to the appellation. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire, called conscience. I have always considered marriage as the most interesting event of one's life, the foundation of happiness or misery. If we desire to avoid insult, we must be able to repel it. If we desire to secure peace, one of the most powerful instruments of our rising prosperity, it must be known that we are at all times ready for war. Lenience will operate with greater force, in some instances, than rigor. It is therefore my first wish to have all of my conduct distinguished by it. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. The Constitution is the guide which I never will abandon. Laws made by common consent must not be trampled on by individuals. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. Someday, following the example of the United States of America, there will be a United States of Europe. It will be found an unjust and unwise jealousy to deprive a man of his natural liberty upon the supposition he may abuse it. Gambling is the child of avarice, the brother of iniquity, and the father of mischief. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty abused to licentiousness. War, an act of violence whose object is to constrain the enemy, to accomplish our will. Gentlemen, you will permit me to put on my spectacles, for I have grown not only gray, but almost blind in the service of my country. I hope, some day or another, we shall become a storehouse and granary for the world. The time is near at hand which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. I wish from my soul that the legislature of this state could see the policy of a gradual abolition of slavery. Mankind, when left to themselves, are unfit for their own government. More permanent and genuine happiness is to be found in the sequestered walks of connubial life than in the giddy rounds of promiscuous pleasure. The foundation of a great empire is laid, and I please myself with a persuasion that Providence will not leave its work imperfect. In proportion as the structure of a government gives force to public opinion, it is essential that public opinion should be enlightened. Every post is honorable in which a man can serve his country. The propitious smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and right, which heaven itself has ordained. A man's intentions should be allowed in some respects to plead for his actions. There is a destiny which has the control of our actions, not to be resisted by the strongest efforts of human nature. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Strive not with your superiors in argument, but always submit your judgment to others with modesty.